Hello everybody. Today I'm going to present my work in sampling-based path planning for mobile robots, specifically the probabilistic roadmap algorithm. This is part of the Coursera Modern Robotics specialization in path planning and trajectory generation. It's presented by me, Ashraf Lynch. Now this figure right here shows the path planning problem that we're going to study. This is in the Probabilistic simulator. The robot right here is a kilobot, starting at this green dot right here. That's the start configuration. We have to plan a path, avoiding all obstacles, to reach the end or goal configuration. So path planning methods are usually divided into three categories: grid-based, sampling-based, and potential field. The method that we're going to study in this project is a sampling-based method, the probabilistic roadmap. I hope that this video will be a part of a series of videos covering grid-based and sampling-based methods. The potential field algorithm was studied and applied experimentally in one of my mini projects at university. The video is also available on the channel. So the main steps in most of the sampling-based algorithms are as follows. First of all, we randomly sample configurations from the robot's configuration space. So for example, if we're talking about a mobile robot, we're going to sample positions in the robot's environment. Or if we're talking about the robot arm, we're going to sample probably random joint variables. The second step is that we're going to eliminate configurations that collide with obstacles. Now, this might be more straightforward in mobile robots, in which we could, provided a map of the environment, quite quickly determine if the robot's configuration is within an obstacle boundary. This problem might actually become more difficult in case of arbitrary objects and probably robot manipulators, in which obstacle representation to be projected to joint space would become highly complex. In the third step, we use a simple local planner to try to connect neighboring configurations with collision-free paths. So what we're trying to do actually right here, we are starting from the start position. We're going to incrementally try to step into the free configuration space by trying to locally connect configurations close to each other to try to grow our representation of the free configuration space. This leads to step 4, in which we create a graph approximation of the robot's free configuration space. Now, finally, we plan a path in this graph using a graph search algorithm like Dijkstra or A-star search or any other algorithm. Now, under sampling-based methods, we usually have two types of algorithms. The RRT algorithm, shown to the left. RRT stands for Rapidly Exploring Random Trees. I hope to discuss this type of algorithm in a subsequent video. Now, the algorithm we're going to focus on is shown in the figure to the right. It's called the probabilistic roadmap. In this case, we try to approximate the free space using a graph with a certain degree of connectivity, and we then plan a path in this graph using A-star search or Dijkstra or any other graph planning algorithm. Now, the main steps of the PRM algorithm can be summarized as follows. First, we sample n configurations randomly from the free configuration space. This could be done by continuously sampling from the configuration space of the robot while eliminating those colliding with obstacles until we have n free configurations. Now we go in a loop where for each of these sampled configurations, Qi, we find the k closest neighbors in Qi based on an Euclidean distance measure. Now we go in another loop where for each of these neighbors, Qj from nQi, we test if there is a collision-free path from Qi to Qj, and we test whether this particular edge from Qi to Qj was not added yet. We then add this weighted edge to our list of previously found edges, and that would end the inner loop. And then we loop this for every sample until we're all completely over. Now we have a connected graph that actually describes the free configuration space of the robot. Finally, we use the A-star search to plan a shortest path in the resulting graph. Now this figure right here shows the results of applying the PRM algorithm to a problem of finding a path for a kilobot from this right here, the green dot, that's the start, to the red dot, which is the goal, trying to avoid these 8 circular obstacles shown here. Now, the blue dots are the nodes that were found using the PRM algorithm. The yellow edges are the ones that we also created using the PRM algorithm. Note that the yellow edges completely avoid all the obstacles, creating a connected graph approximating the free space of the robot. We then used the A-star search algorithm to plan this green path shown here. This path starts at the start configuration and then reaches the end configuration. It's good to note that this path is far from optimal in terms of length. There are many other shortest paths that the robot can find. It's also important to note that the PRM is not guaranteed by any means necessary to find a path, nonetheless find the minimum path. The PRM is, however, complete in the probabilistic sense, meaning that as the number of samples or the number of configurations that we sample tends to infinity, we have a probability of 1 of finding a path from goal to finish, given this path exists. This concludes this brief project on sample-based path planning methods. We discussed the PRM algorithm in detail in this case, and we implemented it in MATLAB and verified the results in the Coppelia Sim software for planning a path for a kilobot robot while trying to avoid obstacles. And that's it. Thank you very much.